Welcome, everybody, to Jester Talks Episode 1. Today's special guest is Drought of Luna. All of his information will be in the description box below. Thank you for hanging out. Anyway, this will be Jester Talks World Events. I have a very special guest, Drought of Luna. He is one of my streaming friends. We are both in the same streaming group together. He's a pretty good dude. I think him and I will probably agree on most things. If you're watching, either on Twitch as I'm doing this or on YouTube later, and you would like to be a guest, specifically if you think that you'll disagree with me and can intelligently hold a conversation without, name calling or resorting to, third grade tactics like what's being written in chat right now. Then that would be awesome. Hit me up either in the comment section or DM me, or you're always welcome to join the Jester's Army and talk about that. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Let me unmute my esteemed guest here, and we will get going. Drow of Luna, can you hear me?
What's going on?
How's it going, man?
Another night.
First of all, thank you for agreeing to be the first ever guest of Jester Talks. And I really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy night or relaxing night since you just got off work and agreeing to talk with me and hang out for a little bit. I super appreciate it.
Anytime, man. Anytime.
All right, for those of you that are either watching this now or you're watching this on YouTube later, make sure you give this guy a follow. If you're in my chat right now, I'm going to shout him out. But if you're watching this on YouTube, just go to twitch.tv/Drow of Luna and drop him a follow, and make sure you stop in and say hello.
Well, thank you, sir.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to start first with, I'm a big history guy. That was my first degree, was military history, and I was working on American and world history, so I like to look back and see. This is one of my most visited websites ever, probably, is the History Channel's This Day in History. So this will be for October 6th, even though for me it's October 7th. And so just, you can either watch the stream or if you want to go to history.com/thisdayinhistory. That's where I'm at right now. I'm not really going to talk in depth about it a lot. Most of you should be able to read it. Just a couple interesting things. In 1866 today, the first train robbery in U.S. history happened. That's kind of interesting. It's kind of cool.
I would have thought it would have been, a little bit earlier.
And then if as you scroll further down, it lets you know that it was the Reno brothers did the first one. In 1996, this is when the Bill Clinton and Bob Dole debate was happening. In sports, Babe Ruth set a World Series record, so that's awesome. And then Vietnam War. This is when we started doing our airstrikes in North Vietnam, and when South Vietnam withdrew from Cambodia. World War I, the Austria-Hungary annexes the Bosnia region. So World War II, Pierre Laval attempted suicide. So all that fun stuff. Other than that, I don't really see anything really. Oh, okay, my bad. Literary. I always skip over this because I'm not a big reader. But Jane Eyre, which is an amazing book and like one of the literary masterpieces, it was published today. And in 1991, of course, Liz Taylor married husband number 7. And I don't know why the audio alert didn't go off, but H Quinn just subscribed for the 3rd month in a row with a $10 sub or the $9.99 sub. Thank you, H Quinn. I'm glad my wife continues to support me. I appreciate it.
At least somebody does.
Yeah, right.
I mean, not all of us can sit here and hold you.
All right, so just real quick, a little disclaimer, if you will. The views expressed by myself are not the views of anyone. They're not the views of Twitch, and certainly not the views of YouTube when this goes on YouTube later. I do not speak for any group of people. I do not speak for anyone other than myself. It is strictly my opinion. This is not my profession. I am not a journalist. This is strictly an opinion piece. This will be my opinions and my views. The reason why I have guests is so they can also put their views on and offer a different perspective than me. Even if they have the same conclusion, they may have gotten there a different direction, given off life experiences and so forth. So YouTube, any comments you have, please keep them educated and non-trolly. Twitch, I know most of you that are in my chat right now, so if you guys become trolly, I will just time you out for the duration of the broadcast, and then we can try again tomorrow. All right, that being said, we're going to go ahead and go on, and the first thing we're going to discuss today is going to be North Korea and not just China's plans if North Korea attacks, but also the likelihood of North Korea trying to bomb either us or one of our allies or someone closer in their area of the world, stuff like that. Discussing that. So, Luna, I will let you talk now that you haven't talked the whole time, basically. But just let me know what you think, just in general, not necessarily China's plans, but just in general, North Korea's nuclear program and I guess your just general feelings on the program and what you think that the U.S. and our allies could do.
Well, my main issue with North Korea's nuclear program is that's the thing is like we've asked them, not only us, the UN has asked them for how many years to shut down their nuclear program, and multiple times they've obviously just basically in a sense just told everybody, well, we're going to do what we want. And the thing is, until somebody steps in and actually does something, I don't think that they're ever going to stop. I think China would back the rest of the world against North Korea? I'm not sure about that. Or would they side with them? I mean, that's a hard one to call. China has said that they'll back the U.S. and the UN and everything like that. But at the same time, in the past, they've backed North Korea quite a lot. So it ends up in the issue of, if North Korea attacks, not only with China, with Russia and everybody else, who's to say what's going to happen?
I agree. I mean, to an extent. So, I'm a huge proponent. For those of you who don't know, I'm prior military, so I'm a huge proponent of, America has the best army in the world. I love Teddy Roosevelt's foreign policy, which was walk softly but carry a big stick, meaning, because whether we want to or not, we are the world police. And when I say we, meaning America. But we're the world police, whether we want to or not. That's how the rest of the world views us, and so I think that while taking a harder stance with North Korea instead of going, what, we're going to do this, and this, like, I think that it's okay. The only concern I have is their friendship with China, and what would happen, like, should something break out. Again, though, China, I mean, it's not like we couldn't beat China. It's just a matter of it would be not a good fight for either side. But I don't think they're going to stop either. I think North Korea, they're a petulant child. We tell them to stop, and they're like, man, we're just going to launch a smaller missile. It's not nuclear. And it's just they've always been that way for forever. Definitely since before I was born. And so I just think that it's going to take. As much as I hate to say this, because I'm a big fan of the dude, I think it's going to take more of a negotiator and a speaker and someone that can be more civil than President Trump, just for an opposing opinion. Yeah, if you have an opposing opinion, I mean, by all means, chat. If you guys are, it's not just you guys listening to myself and Luna. Definitely talk. If you guys want to bring up a point, you guys have something to say, by all means, for sure, definitely, type it up in there. I didn't say we have the right. I didn't say we have the right. Okay, so in playing devil's advocate with what Luna said we've been telling them for a long time to just shut down the nuclear program, and we have. We've been telling them, but the same way. But we have our nuclear program, and the other world powers have theirs. That's actually what makes us superpowers. Back when they started calling everyone superpowers, that's what made them superpowers, was the ability and having a nuclear arsenal. In my opinion, what gives us the right to police the world? Nothing really gives us the right, but if we don't, who's going to? Think about it that way. And a lot of countries now look to us to fill that role. If we were all of a sudden to back out and be like, you know what? America's borders are closed off. Fucking Russia, you want to fucking invade Georgia? Go ahead. That's what.
Well, see, I have a big issue with that. I have a big issue with the statement that you just made. Because I felt
Korea's trying to work on their big stick policy. True. But what I think the concern with Korea is, like, there's no real, I mean, and I think that, what did Trump call him, like Little Rocket Man or whatever? I think he's better than his dad at a point, at an extent, but I still think that, they're very volatile and we can't really predict what they're going to do. Like, their foreign policy is, we like China, everyone else can just fuck off, Anyway, Luna, you were saying?
No, the statement that you made that basically we're what everybody looks to. I have a big issue with that. I don't think that we should be. I'm sick and tired of America feeling like, oh, we have to help everybody. We have to, we have to do all this for everybody, and we have to this and we have to that. And it's just, to me, it's getting annoying that in our own country we have so much that we could do for, Americans, but yet we're too worried about, what's going on over in Africa, or what's going on over in, the Middle East, or what's going on over in Korea or Russia, or, no other country does that. And it really actually kind of irks me, the fact that America feels like we have to be everybody's mom and hold their hand and tell them, stop fighting each other. It's, we can work this out. Did anybody do that when we had our American Revolution, the North versus the South? No, nobody jumped in.
Yeah, but the same as that. Now, I agree with you. I agree with what you're saying the first time. Like, we let's go help this country out as Americans. And this is where I'm going to sound like a dick. So, I don't live. First of all, anyone watching this, I don't live in America. I currently reside in New Zealand. And so for me, I think America, our government, should continue to offer aid and help other governments take care of their people when needed, such as, when Haiti gets wiped out by another earthquake or a hurricane, stuff like that, when governments need aid. As far as the, Americans, as far as actors, actresses, anyone doing like charity drives and stuff to help out Haiti, to help out all these other countries and stuff, that's where I'm like, no, take care of Americans first. Raise money for the homeless vets, for the homeless kids, for battered women within our borders. That's how I feel about that. Doc Bar, to go with you, China, you're right. China's military is no joke. They are a huge land force. And that's why I'm saying that's probably the only reason America, even Trump, will tread lightly is around North Korea, is because of that they have. However, China has been kind of helping with keeping the petulant child in check, But, all right, Knox. For Knox. No, I understand we're the role model for other countries, and, I understand where you're coming from, if you come over to my house and tell me how to live. But also, look at this. If I got my kids taken away and you're the CPS person put in charge of me and you're telling me how to raise my kids, then yeah. It's the same thing to an extent, you know. Anyway, we're going to move on. We could talk about this forever. Bottom line is, Kim Jong-un is better than his dad as far as, doing stuff. I think what we're waiting right now is finding out from, just waiting on China, because that's what this article is about. If you guys want to go read this, it's the New Zealand Herald. When I Google stuff, it comes up with New Zealand news sources. But anyway, it's called Enter the Dragon: China's Plans if North Korea Attacks. It basically says that they don't really have a plan, but it's kind of like, what are they going to do if Kim Jong-un's regime falls apart? Will China, swoop in and be like, bam, like annex it, basically, like North Korea is now ours, which, given the friendship and everything, North Korea would probably be okay with. All that fun stuff. I'll go ahead and post a link in chat for you guys, and if you guys want to read up on it, that's where that is. So anyway, I think North Korea is going to be something we'll talk about quite a bit, especially as they go along and stuff here. As they go on, I think it'll be pretty fun, as far as us to discuss and everything. But we're going to go ahead and move on. We have some other stuff to cover. I think next is still the North Korea. What would a nuclear attack on Seoul or Tokyo look like? So obviously, I would assume that they would attack Seoul first. I'm just going to say this one thing, and then Luna, you can give your piece, and then we'll move on away from Korea altogether and move on to our next topic. So when you're in the Army, so I was in the Army, and when you're in the Army and you have, you understand if you get stationed in South Korea, you're basically a speed bump to hold North Korea / China, whoever, off long enough for the rest of the Army and the Navy to get there. It's basically what your job is. And that's why we have units like the 82nd and stuff that can deploy anywhere worldwide in 18 hours. They get a call 18 hours later, their wheels up and on the way. I'm not going to cover this a lot. What would a nuclear attack by North Korea on Seoul or Tokyo look like? It would look like an all-out fucking war, because as soon as they launch their missiles, we're bombing them. We're bombing, and then those are going to go close to China. China is going to. It would just be fucking horrible. It would not be fun. But I'll link. I'll put the link for this as well. Yeah. Right, Knox. Yeah. All right.
See, here's my whole thing on North Korea attacking. If North Korea attacks, that's the thing. One of two things is going to happen. Either A, they're going to be turned into a giant parking lot, which is going to cause a lot of controversy.
Because
no, we won't. We won't. But we definitely don't. America definitely does not have an issue on telling another country, oh, well, if you do this, we're not gonna hurt you for it. We'll back you up against everybody else. America has always been that country that's can very easily sway other countries to do what they want.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. When it comes to China and everybody else, North Korea would be in a lot of trouble. But again, that ends up, the issue is who's going to retaliate against America, and then what's going to happen there. That's the thing. If North Korea did attack, you'd end up with an all-out war, because it would just end up in huge issues.
Yeah. Joker, Be Crafty, thank you for stopping by. I am not ignoring you guys. I am just more focused on people that are adding to the conversation for this stuff. Not saying you're not adding to the conversation.
I'm keeping them entertained. Don't worry.
I know. I got you. You guys, that's my YouTube link. It will be up on YouTube probably the next few days, once I learn some editing and stuff, and the fact that I didn't hit record until after I introduced everything. But we'll fix that. It'll get better as I go along. Learn as I go along. If North Korea attacks, it will be a fast, devastating war that will end in guerrilla groups harassing the region. Yeah. If China and Russia keep their word, North Korea would literally be beaten into submission. Yeah. China's already vocalized their fact that they want North Korea to kind of chill out with the nuclear stuff and all that stuff. They even closed their borders to the people that escaped North Korea and all that fun stuff. So, all right, guys, we're gonna move on. So this is gonna be we're gonna move on to a more localized event for those of you that live in America. Something probably a more heated topic because we're gonna get into gun control and should we have gun control and what kind of gun control should we have. We're also gonna get into up until today, I didn't know there was a bunch of conspiracy theories, but there is a bunch of conspiracies.
Oh yeah.
But we're going to go ahead and talk about the Las Vegas shooting. Just in case you don't know what happened, there was a country music festival going on, and there was allegedly, and I'm going to say allegedly just because, again, they're still investigating, not all the facts are out, stuff like that. Allegedly, there was a one shooter from the 38th floor, anyway, up in the hotel casino, across the street from the event that was, fired into the crowd a lot. A lot of people dead, a lot of people still injured, stuff like that. So we're going to talk about that. And I'm sure that'll bring us to the movie theater shootings and all that other stuff, but while we're going to start with the Las Vegas shooting, we're just going to kind of encompass, several of them. The link I have up right now is not a news source I read very often, but they had the latest posting when I was looking it up. So anyway, I'll post a link to this too, so you guys can go ahead and just read. Nothing against CNN. I'm sure you're an amazing news network. I just don't think you are. So I don't read it a lot. But anyway, there's the link for that, the one that we're reading right now. So, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get in depth about this. I've got a lot of opinions when it comes to this.
All right, so again, I don't live in America, so I'm sure you guys, this is probably on your nightly news, your morning news, in the car, radio, everything here. It's really not. It's on the news every now and then. I've just been what I've been reading. I will say this: someone's who opinion I trust, and one of my friends since I was in high school, she also was in the military as a intel analyst and then got out of the military and joined a police force as a analyst for stuff kind of like this. She believes one of the what's being called conspiracy theories now, that this dude, it is impossible for this dude to get all those weapons and ammunition up to his room, to disable the fire alarms, to disable the security cameras without the casino security knowing about it, given that even the poorest casino in Las Vegas still hires some of the top security people. I'm not saying that I believe that as well. I'm just saying that I trust her opinion, and so it's something that I'll be looking into more. I literally heard that like an hour before I started this, and at that point I was still trying to get Luna's name to go across the screen where it says YouTube subscriber, or where it says recruit and has the YouTube thing. So, I don't know a lot about it, about the different conspiracy theories. Luna has been looking into them a little bit more, but first let's talk about what. Well, just talk, Luna. What do you think? Tell me everything. Let's just pick one thing, whatever you want to talk about first about the Vegas shooting.
Okay. How about the CBS executive that got fired for the comment he made?
What was the comment? See, I saw that. I saw that on Twitter.
Haley Geffman Gold, VP and Senior Counsel of Strategic Transactions at CBS. He in quote said, "If they wouldn't do anything when children were murdered, I have no hope that repugs will ever do the right thing. I'm actually not even sympathetic because country music fans are often Republican gun toters."
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I mean, came out blatantly and said, I I am not. I don't care what happened. I don't feel bad about anything that happened. Anybody that got shot, got hurt, got anything like that, lost, family members, brothers, sisters, wives, husbands, children, because they're country music fans. That to me is completely ridiculous.
Okay, but that being said, one, that's fucking horrible that they said that. But you have to look at, and I'm assuming that was a tweet or was that like on air?
Um, that was a tweet.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm a big fan, but I mean, look at some of the tweets that Trump Trump has put out. Like, there's some people that do some fucking horrible, or Kathy Griffin with the fucking beheading of the president, like, tweet. Like, Twitter is awesome. I love Twitter. I used to hate Twitter. I like Twitter now. That's actually where I get most of my information. But, yeah, no, I agree. It should have been fired as a media. You're right, Knox. It should be completely unbiased. Papa Cheddar and Kat, thank you for stopping by as well. I appreciate you guys coming by. But yeah, no. And people are going to say stuff like that, and this is my issue with politics in general, mainly and namely the politics in America right now. Is this huge tragedy happened? The right is going to use it to support their agenda, and the left is going to use it to support their agenda. For the left, it's going to be, we want more gun control. How did this dude ever get guns? For the right, it's going to be like, it's like an amendment. It's our right to have guns. That you can't, guns don't kill people. People, stupid people kill people. And I understand that completely. I understand where both sides are coming from. Me, I'm a military dude. I love guns. I grew up in Montana. I am one of the gun-toting country music fans. I grew up that way, but on the same side, if you look at how many, it's simple numbers. Like, if you look at how many Americans, let's just go with Americans, own weapons compared to how many violent crimes are conducted with weapons or committed with weapons, the numbers really aren't that bad if you look at the millions and millions of gun owners registered with compared to the violent crimes. Now, I understand this is a horrible crime. The church shooting was a horrible crime. The Sandy Hook school shooting was a horrible crime. The movie theater in what do you call it? In Colorado a couple years ago, a horrible crime. Like, all these are horrible crimes. I'm not saying that they're not. But what I'm saying is, when someone gets stabbed to death, we don't have people up in arms trying to take away some people's butcher knives.
Yeah, exactly. You don't go after people. Oh, somebody got in a fight and beat somebody to death. Oh, well, now your hands are an illegal weapon. You have to wear, oven mitts so you can't hurt anybody.
Yeah.
But somebody defends themselves and shoots somebody, or some idiot does something, feel like, oh, nobody should own guns because they're dangerous. Okay, well, if somebody breaks into my house, has my child or something like that, I'm sorry. Like, I prefer to have a weapon in my house and know how to use it if ever need be. And I don't feel it's anybody's right to take that away from anybody.
Yeah. So in contrast, I live in a country now where the gun laws aren't like in America. Like, it isn't a right. You can have one. You just have to apply for it, and you have to have a good reason to have one. And if you do have one, like if your gun is in your house, your ammunition's in your car, stuff like that.
Well, so it's just like in Chicago. It's the law where you can't carry a loaded. Your clip has to be in your trunk.
Yeah, and it's the same thing in the military. So in the military, there's completely separate laws for your personally owned weapons about how you store them, how you transport them, everything. And you can actually get in serious trouble for just being caught and not having it registered on post or not having it any other way, stuff like that. It is difficult to determine mental illness, and I'm not saying that every person that sells guns, every company that sells a gun or manufactures a gun should become able to tell, hey, are you sane? I mean, again, it's a right. So as long, and the best way to decide if you're able to hold a gun or not is the way that we do it now. Like, you cannot be a felon. A convicted felon cannot own a weapon. You know, and I think it actually it has to be like a violent crime too, and that's one of the best ways to do it. Like, other than that, like, you know, like, there's not
No,
much
if you're
else.
felon, period, you can't get a gun. Doesn't matter what you're.
Yeah. Oh, is that what it is? Like this?
Yeah.
I'm not a policymaker. Do I think that it would be okay to make guns a little harder to get? Sure. I don't think that I should be able to walk into Walmart and buy a gun. But I think that it should be like you have to, you know, pass a fucking physical fitness test and 18 hours of psychological profiling before you can buy a gun? No. Something as simple as requiring a criminal background check. And so when you go in and buy a gun, that store then submits your information to, you know, the police or the state, whatever. Again, you know, and since the government's the one that wants more gun control, there should be the ones that pay for this kind of shit. So, you know, I think something as simple as a background check. Everyone that goes in to purchase a weapon needs to have a background check done within like the last year. Like, it's really not that hard. And it's something that the states or federal government can pay for themselves if they're the ones that want to do it. I mean, there's no way to go like, well, how do we stop all the shootings? I don't know. How do we stop all the meth use? Let's make it illegal. Oh, we did that. You know, like, there's no way that you're going to stop it.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, it's just not. So, background and medical records check. Medical, I mean, it depends. I mean, I guess. Because, I mean, if you think about it, so if you have someone that's kind of teetering on the fence and they just found out that they're terminally ill with cancer, you know, that might push them over the edge. And, you know, I could see that, Knox. That's a good point.
I guess that's why I kind of love Arizona, because literally when you walk into buy a gun, they turn around and make a phone call. And as long as that phone call says you're okay, they hand you your gun and say, have a nice day.
Yeah.
There is no wait period here.
Well,
so, I mean, things like that, I can see become an issue.
There's no
Exactly.
Yeah. I see. Knox, think about it though. Even if you don't have a mental disability, you know, because you can be a psychopath or a sociopath and not be diagnosed. So you could literally, like I said, they could find out they have lupus or find out that they have some terminally ill cancer that just nudges them over the edge. They've never been diagnosed with any mental disability before, any mental, you know, issues. They go buy the gun. They do the thing like that we're talking about. They get the background check. They wait their 2 weeks. They get their gun, log in, and then bam. You know, there's no way everyone's going to fall through the cracks. And this is my way of saying there will always be people falling through the cracks. So the United States military. I can only speak for my time in the Army. Grizz, that's in chat, he was in the Navy. I'm sure that there's something similar that he experienced. But it's a volunteer army. No one can make you join. So it's a volunteer military force. So if you volunteer, you would think that you want to do it. It's something that you want to do. I understand that. Cool. But there are people in the military that don't fucking want to be there, that shouldn't be there, that should never have been let in, and that you fall through the cracks. There's people that get promoted that should never be in charge of other people, but they fall through the cracks. It's going to be the same thing here. You know, bottom line, the Vegas shooting is a horrible, I mean, there's 58 people dead and injuring about 500 more. It's a horrible thing, but we are going to talk about one good thing, not good, but one bright story that I have read that comes out of this, and that is Matthew Kobos. Matthew Kobos is a Army soldier. He was at the event when everyone was getting shot. That is him currently on the screen right there. At first, when I first saw the picture, I thought that he was like, she was like his girlfriend or whatever, wife, whatever, and had died. But that's not. That's actually him covering her during the shooting. He got her to safety and then ran back in to help others that had been injured, plugging bullet holes and holes and stuff like that. So this is my thing. Is this his actions Is it a result of his service, or is he naturally like that and the military just gave him more of an ability to do so? What do you guys think? Both chat and Luna. Luna, go ahead.
I mean, truthfully, I mean, the military gives you the training for this. But, I mean, I even know a lot of military people that still wouldn't, that would help people out, but wouldn't have ran back in. So for him to have done that, you know, that had to be part of him as a person in the beginning. You know, that's my opinion on it. That had to be his personality. He had to have that thing where he wanted to help people, and the military training just helped him do it.
Okay. Chat, what do you guys think? You guys think that that this is due to his training? You think that that's why he decided to run back in, or do you think that with or without his military training he would have done so? As someone who is in frequent firefights, it takes someone cut from a special cloth to run back into the gunfire. It depends though. Like, I mean, training has a lot to do with that.
Back in 2 seconds.
Because, I mean, let me tell you, like, as a civilian, before I joined the military, I would have not ran towards gunfire to try to shoot someone or to try to, to sneak up on him and get to, either flank him or maneuver around them to get, to close within and destroy the enemy. That's not something I would have done as a civilian before I joined the military. Now, because of my military training, though, I would have completely fucking done it. But I think that the intestinal fortitude was there prior, but I think his training had a lot to do with it. I think he... Where'd he go? Crap. I think he had a quality to begin with. Maybe the quality is what made him want to join the military. So, yeah, like that, Kat. I agree with you, Kat, completely. Oh, Kool-Aid. I grew up with guns. I grew up shooting guns. I've been shooting a gun since, I don't know, 6 probably was when I had my first 22. Part training, part priority. For the safety of others over his own. Yep, I agree, Chris. The military teaches you, but at the end of the day, training won't make you risk your life. Being a brave, selfless person does that. I understand that, but I think the selfless service that was instilled with him probably is what made it. I don't know. I mean, obviously he knows, but like I speak for myself. Like when I was in high school, if someone was shooting up my high school, I would have helped people to safety, but I probably wouldn't have ran back into the school. But since joining and all that stuff, I would definitely run back in. But yeah, no, it does have to be in you some way. I agree with Luna that too. It has to be there.
Sorry about that.
I just don't. I'm just not sure if I would have done it beforehand. Cat's better at putting stuff into words than I am. That is true. All right, guys. We are going to do some last thoughts real quick. So, Luna, last thoughts on Vegas.
Conspiracy theories.
Oh yeah, that's right. Conspiracy theories. Luna, you know more about this. I do not know that many of them, just the one that I've heard today. So if you want to discuss a couple of them, I'll give the floor to you, and then I will completely just give my opinion afterwards.
So there was a couple that actually I found very interesting. There was one report that basically said that the shooting actually came from, and not the 33rd floor, actually came from around the 21st, 22nd floor. And the fact that the quote-unquote supposed shooter had actually been dead for 10 hours when they found him in a room full of ammunition.
Okay.
That there was actually somebody else that did the shooting, but they pointed the finger at this guy. They basically, in a sense, set him up.
So he was
set
like
him up for it.
He was like a potsy.
Exactly. And then the other one was basically saying that it was a terrorist act, which I read up on it. I thought it was a little bit of BS, that it was a terrorist act, and basically it was, they paid off a few people to basically just try to get on gun control and get on, you know, things against basically different shows and stuff like that. Because I mean, even if you notice, there was that concert. There's been a couple concerts in, you know, France that have been attacked, a couple different places that have been attacked and stuff like that. You know, so it's kind of interesting, you know, what people are thinking about all of this.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I understand that. So I mean, by definition, it was an act of terror.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
mean, whether domestic terrorism, or, you know, depending on what we're going to label it, or you know, terrorism, it was an act of terror. Um, but okay, I can understand that. So it's like a shooter movie, or like what Knox said, um, Lee Harvey Oswald type thing. I mean, I could see that. Like the one that, like I said earlier, the one that I saw was, how did he? It's impossible for one person that has no training, no formal training. I understand anyone can go practice to shoot stuff like that. Go, and it doesn't really take a really good aim to fire into a crowd of several thousand people and hit someone. Um, that was sarcasm. But like it was like what, like 800 pounds of weapons and ammunition or something, and then plus apparently disabled smoke detectors, disabled alarms, disabled security cameras. Like, like I was saying, like my friend said, like it's a casino in Las Vegas.
Yeah, and
Like
I mean, you got to think about it too.
they
How does a
watch
gentleman,
everything all the time.
yeah, how
You know?
does a gentleman of that age, you know,
Yeah.
with no prior backgrounds, no prior anything, have the knowledge and know how to do
Plus
all that with
explosives.
no problems?
Knox, do you know what kind of explosives? Homemade, or was it like Syntax or something? C4. Probably just ammonium nitrate. That's the easiest.
I'm
All
looking
right.
it up right
Okay.
now if he didn't get to it quick enough.
Duffel bags for days. Yeah, yeah. I understand the duffel bag thing, but like, I mean, what hotel was it? Like, I didn't even know what hotel it was. Like I said, I'm not really well versed. Yeah, yeah, no, no. Okay, so I know that they found exploding targets in his car. Exploding targets are different, though. I mean,
They
unless he had
found,
like fucking several thousand of them, and he figured out a way to, he compressed them and stuff, like a pipe bomb type
well,
thing.
they found 10 1-pound canisters and two 20-pound canisters of tannerite in his car.
It's from the Mandalay Bay, so one of the largest casinos. Yeah, no, so there's no way, and unless he's like fucking Mission Impossible fucking level, fucking not just like Tom Cruise's character, like the whole team in one dude. It was the powdered explosive. Okay, so he'd take. Oh, was okay. I got Mandalay Bay and the Mirage. Either way, whichever hotel it really was, those are both fucking giant hotels. Their security's not going to be lax at all. Like they have hidden fucking metal detectors, like in door frames and shit, that you don't know when you walk through them. The concert was at Mandalay Bay. Okay, and so he was shooting from the Mirage into the Mandalay Bay, um, like outside area. Okay,
So there's, I
so
mean,
those
there's
are,
no way he could have done all of this. I mean, there's that.
yeah.
It's ridiculous. There is no way.
I didn't even think about it. Like honestly, I was just looking. I was like, I haven't even really looked into it. Like been looking at it until I saw that Facebook post from my friend. Um, you know, but damn, from the 34th floor, yeah.
And I mean,
Okay.
how many trips would he have had to take back to his car to grab that much ammunition, that
Well,
much weapons, and
yeah.
everything
Well,
like
and
that,
it's like,
and take it
well, it's
all the
like
way up
Knox
there
said,
without
he had a
anybody
shitload
being
of
like, you know,
he had a
hey,
bunch of
what's
duffel
going on
bags.
there?
And
Even
if
then,
it's
if
the
I
Mirage
if
or
I
the
was one,
Mandalay, like they have people that he'd have to do it. Like you're talking, so okay, so I'm just gonna theorize again. I don't know a lot about this. I'm just gonna theorize. So basically, if he parks out front, you're gonna have the bellhops come. They like you open your trunk. They take your bag for you, like, and if they see him struggling with these heavy ass bags, they're definitely gonna try to help. So the way I look at it is you're looking at parking around back, having some kind of uniform that makes people think you work there, plus passes to get on like the service elevator or whatever. All kinds of shit. Dock bar, yeah, I saw that too, but so I saw reports that the windows were shot out. Were they shot out or were they removed? Because I saw reports that they were removed, and then I also saw reports that they were shot out. But yeah, I mean those are huge windows, like thick ass windows that are meant to prevent people from jumping, and to prevent like any kind of like the high wind sandstorms and shit, any kind of damage. So there's quite a few fucking things. Yeah, no, I understand that, but if you're a bellhop and you're moving duffel bags and they're fucking heavy, and there's a difference between from another hotel, they will gather your shit for you. Yeah. But if you're a bellhop and you're carrying heavy ass bags, like you put it down, it sounds like, okay, I know what guns clinging together sounds like, but it sounds like metal. It sounds like you're gonna think something's gonna be off. So he was shooting a 223. Is that the only caliber he had? Anyone know like the list of weapons? We'll talk about. This is gonna be next week's topic. We're gonna be next week too, probably. There's gonna be more that come out. All right, guys, we're gonna continue moving on though.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that all of them are in there, but there's 30 guns and a fuck ton of ammo. Yeah. But yeah, no, Doc, but you're right, because the 800-pound pane of glass, I mean, technically it could just be really big and thin, but I mean, those ones are like, they're fucking thick.
And not to mention how many fucking duffel bags there would be. I mean, you can't
think about how much ammo I can hide in 5 duffel bags. Yeah, no, I understand that, but what about the 30 guns? Like, it's, of course, I'm thinking military duffel bag. But even if it's a hard case, though, like, those things are fucking heavy. Some little fucking tiny bellhop isn't really going to be able to lift those. Like, it's going to get banged around and you're be able to 30 pounds. Is that much? 30 pounds of what? The explosive or the... 5 duffel bags. Like I said, I don't know how much ammo it was. I'm not really well versed in this. That's why I have guests. I just get to give my opinion. It's my opinion.
Well, they said altogether it was over 200 pounds of ammunition. Over, it was something like 250 some odd or whatever. So I mean, even then, you've got over 200 pounds of ammo. No, they said on the news he had over 200 some odd pounds of ammo, and to try to. You got to think with the weapons he had, the ammunition he had, even if it was only like 5 or 6 duffel bags. If you're a bellhop or you're a hotel owner or you're even working the freaking front desk of a hotel and you see somebody that's coming to stay at your hotel and they're loading nothing but duffel bags, you're not going to look at them funny and question that?
Right.
No suitcases, no nothing, just a shitload of duffel bags. I'm sorry. I'm gonna tell them you need to hold on a second, and we're doing random searches now, and you're a part of this. That's just my opinion on it.
I think security would have been alerted to, and like I said, like there's metal detectors hidden within the security, within the hotel doors and stuff. Like
exactly, yeah. To think some little small old guy is going to carry all that stuff. I mean, come on.
Yeah, $5 bags renting a suit for extended stay. That's awesome, but you got to figure it's also the Mandalay Bay or the Mirage, whichever one he was shooting from. You're looking, I mean, even if it is just 30 pounds of ammo or whatever, it's going to set off the metal detectors. It's going to set off something. Like, if you only have 30 pounds of ammo, still, you said there's 30 guns. Where in the fuck are you putting 30 guns? Granted, I don't know what sizes and stuff, but no, it's got to be. I'm not saying that there's a conspiracy. All I'm saying is either he had help. I'm just saying he didn't do this by himself. There's no way he encompasses the entire Mission Impossible team just himself.
Like, have you seen pictures of this guy?
Yeah, he's a pretty big dude.
But I mean, even then,
kind of older.
I mean,
no big, like kind of like chunky, like looking like.
Yeah, exactly.
Most were AR platform. Yeah, see? If they have metal detectors in the door, how come they change keys? I don't know. Not like necessarily like metal detectors, but the fucking scanning things. There's no way. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if he did, cool. You know, if he was able to pull it off by himself, then fine, I'm corrected. But given the amount of weapons he had, where he was staying, ammo, all that stuff, he had to have had help, because there's no way that this dude is a IT genius, has a great knowledge of the inner workings of this place's security,
And's a bodybuilder.
you know, all this other stuff. Like, I'm just saying, I don't think he did himself. Do I think there's like some kind of like big conspiracy where, you know, the left hired people to do it or the right did it? Or no, I don't think it's government wise. I do not think that he did this by himself, though. There's no way. I don't think that dude pulled this off by himself at all. There's no way. All right, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to a probably equally heated discussion. We're gonna talk football, specifically NFL, to begin with, and then we're gonna talk about the stuff that's happening in the NFL and how it has trickled down to smaller, much younger sport enthusiasts / players.
Yeah, this is where my strong opinions are going to come out.
So, before we start this, I want to reiterate, these are my views. The ones I give are just my opinion. They are not the opinions of anyone else.
And the guests' opinions are their own.
I will be very, very honest with my views, but I will try, if anyone disagrees with me, I will be very, I don't know, sensitive or whatever. I don't know what the hell I'm just trying to say. But anyway, we're going to talk about the NFL. And specifically, we are going to talk about this kind of stuff right here. It started last year with Colin Kaepernick. And I understand that as a whole, everyone says that these protests to the national anthem are due to the inequality in America. And as you can see, let me post this link. This is the link that I'm going off of for this. This is not the only link, but this is the link, this one right here. So anyway, they're taking a knee. It's not just these two. We're gonna get into quite a thing. So let me start off by saying this. I understand that the Constitution of the United States grants them this right to protest and freedom of speech and freedom of expression. I understand that. I'm not saying that they don't have the right to do it. They completely have the right to do it. But the right that gives them to do this also gives me the right to say they're fucking douchebags for doing it. So, let me get that out of the way. I am not for a second saying that they don't have the right to do this. But what I am saying is the same right that gives them the ability to do this gives me the ability to say how I feel about it. And that's what's going to happen, basically. So, Anyway, so I understand that they are protesting during the national anthem is for the inequality in America. Colin Kaepernick started it, and when he started it, it was, you know, police brutality against African Americans and all that stuff. I said this from the very beginning for Colin Kaepernick. Everyone else, different story. But for Colin Kaepernick, it was simply to keep him in the spotlight, and that was it. It was to keep him relevant in the news and in the spotlight. If he really gave a shit about any of that stuff, he could have given money or started an organization, stuff like that, to actually help. Not anything else. Okay, so now let me give you my personal opinions on the national anthem and why you should not kneel to protest the nation by doing national anthem. Okay? So, kneeling to the national anthem. First of all, That is the national anthem. It is the theme song, if you will, for your country. Okay? For it's the utmost respect. You're an American. People have died for you to live the life that you live. There is no, it should be a fucking law. When that song plays, you stand up, your hand goes over your heart, and you fucking face the flag. That being said, those are my views because of my military service. Before the military even, it was the same thing. I was super pissed when they started taking that out of schools, and I was in school. Same with the Pledge of Allegiance. And that's the issue, is when I was growing up, every morning we said the Pledge of Allegiance. We were taught to respect the flag and respect the nation. It's just the way it works. And do I know that they're not trying to disrespect people? Yes. But my view is, one, I think this. Anyway, I'm not even going to cover that part. Anyway, I'm not for it. I agree very wholeheartedly with... Hold on, I just saw it. And I will highlight it right here. I agree with this right there. President Donald Trump said the NFL owners need to fire the sons of bitches who are disrespecting the flag. Agreed. You want to kneel during the national anthem, then you sit during the game. You want to kneel during the national anthem, don't fucking come to practice. Who is paying your paycheck? The National Football League. Who play and I'm not watching the NFL. I'm not. All kinds of shit. I'm not. And I'm a huge NFL fan. Anyway, so let's finish with this. My thoughts are fucking stand up. You want to lock arms with your teammates? Fine. Lock arms with your teammates. A lot of sports people don't put their hands over their heart anyway. I understand. You're holding your helmet. You got your football pads. Whatever. Basketball, they don't always do it either. You want to stand and show fucking that you're together? That you're fucking fine. Stand and do it. Face the flag and do it. All that stuff. But that's my thing. And I hate seeing the fucking Facebook keyboard cowboys. Well, it's their right to do it. No shit, it's their right to do it. But by you bad-mouthing me because I'm telling them douchebags, then you're just trampling on my right to call them douchebags, which is the same fucking right. Anyway, is anyone in my chat for it? Let me catch up with chat. If you're physically able to stand, you stand. No excuses. Fuck yeah, K1. I understand the NFL players are protesting inequality and using their fame as a larger platform. Fuck no. No, they're not. They're not using their fame for anything, though, other than this is popular, so I'm going to do it. This is popular within my culture, so I'm going to do it. If NFL players, it might have changed, but so when I was stationed at Fort Campbell, we used to go to Titans games and Titans practices and everything else. If you're just on their practice squad, their training squad, while preseason, you played the preseason games and you're being evaluated, you're still technically making $256,000 a year. Okay? That's a lot. I don't know if it's changed or not, or maybe that was just the Titans and stuff. But finish reading it first, then the second one. Dude, what? I'm not reading anything. Oh, hold on. Yeah. If you want to make change and you're a fucking millionaire, easy. You want to stop black people. You want to stop. This is what it's about. It's about racial inequality. You want to stop. You want to stop the whole cops shooting black people, all that stuff. Start by working with inner city kids. Start teaching them that not fuck the police or anything like that. Start helping getting them out of the inner city. Start helping by getting parents. I know he was agreeing with me. I'm not saying that he wasn't agreeing with me. No. Knox, you're good. I know that you were agreeing with me. I'm not saying that you weren't. I'm just saying, no, you're good. I don't think that you were disagreeing with me.
No, your beginning statement just allowed him to fuel.
My bad. Go. Yeah, you just added fuel to my fire. You're good. I don't think you're disagreeing with me or anything. But my thing is, okay, so get the parents off drugs. Get people, start giving them ways to not be in trouble. It's the same thing, I mean, okay, let me catch up, and then Luna, we're going to pass it to you. Because I could literally go on a rant forever about this.
Oh,
I
you're not the
think it
only
is
one.
disrespectful, and I think that until you watch a friend, a brother, a sister, whatever, come home under that flag, you don't have the right to say whether or not, like, it's just me. Anyway, finish reading it. Okay. I think that a bunch of spoiled brats. True. Kaepernick did the kneel publicly stunt because the first BLM. So here's my thing. This is the only thing I'm going to say about this. We're not really going to discuss it. Luna, you can add if you want, but I don't really want to because it's a really touchy subject. The KKK is known as white supremacists, right? They are labeled as a terrorist organization, a domestic terrorist organization, because of things that they've done in the past. In my mind, BLM should be labeled the same way. That's me. All right, they're taking a hit right now. I hope so, Doc Bar. I'm literally not watching anything. I will say this, though. The Pittsburgh Steelers, the entire fucking team stayed in the locker room for the national anthem, except for one dude. And he used to be an Army Ranger. He came out of the tunnel, and he put his hand over his fucking heart, and he did it. That dude is awesome. Also, I'm not entirely sure, but if the Cowboys owner is still firing people to do it, I'm a Cowboy fan. This is
I hate the Cowboys, but I'd be right there with you.
There isn't one sitting during the national anthem at a NASCAR race. Shouldn't, right? Yeah, you don't see drivers fucking kneeling next to their cars because they're not going to. Yep.
No, you sit at a NASCAR race, or you sit at any other sporting event. You are evacuated from the building by force.
But Grizzly, that's because NASCAR fans are also those gun-toting country music fans.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So anyway, chat. Please tell me your feelings on it. I feel that the NFL should. You want to kneel? No problem. We're gonna fine you, and then those fines, find something to do with them. Find some way to fucking put those fines somewhere.
Now Did you
hear that the Steeler guy apologized for doing it? Oh, he better not have. Who did he apologize to? There's no way he apologized to. Who did he apologize to? Fuck no.
Let me put it this way with this entire freaking thing. This whole freaking thing. Kaepernick, in my opinion, is an idiot. I mean, he took the kneel because of, he thought it would bring him attention, would bring him, airtime and this and that. And it did. It did for the longest time. Everybody else started doing it because his dumbass did it. But answer me this. Kaepernick makes, a shit ton of money. Name one fucking thing he has done with any of that money to try to help anybody.
Yeah,
just like you said. If you really want to help, do something about it. With the whole thing with the BLM, with the Black Lives Matter and everything like that. Here's something I went through when I was a kid. So a park up the road from where I lived, they had a Black Lives, or basically barbecue, where it was all just black people and that was it, and nobody else was invited. 2 weeks later, a bunch of Mexicans did it, or a bunch of Hispanic people did it. They had a Hispanic Pride Day where they had a big barbecue and nobody else could come if you weren't Hispanic. So a couple weeks later, my dad, a bunch of friends who are not racist in the least, decided to do a white barbecue. But there was a difference between our barbecue and everybody else's. Anybody was allowed to come. We didn't care who you were. If you wanted to come have a burger with us and support the fact that, white lives matter too, go ahead. The messed up part, the African American people that were doing it, the Hispanic people that were doing it, the cops didn't show up at all, didn't tell them you can't do this, didn't nothing. When we did it, they shut us down 3 hours into it, saying that we were holding a racial event. So in this whole thing where they're kneeling for, Black Lives Matter, the flag oppresses people and this and that. The people that have fought for that flag defend your right to do what you do, to be allowed to do what you do. You kneel for that, yeah, you should be sent home. You don't get pay, you don't get nothing, you get fired. If my boss tells me to do something, or if, like you guys have said, being a military person, if you would have done that in the military, what would have happened to you? You would have probably got shot. Right or wrong, Jester?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, to say that, oh, it's your right as an individual. It is your right as an individual, and that's part of what the U.S. Constitution allows you to do, and the U.S. government allows you to do. But at the same time, you should show respect to everybody that has done everything that they can to give you those rights. If you look back, they say, oh, the flag, supports discrimination against black people. The Constitution, goes, it's discrimination against black people. I'm sorry. Is it not in the Constitution where white people sat down, wrote the Constitution that all men are created equal under God? That abolished slavery, that abolished everything. And you're going to sit here and tell me, oh, well, this is oppression, this is that. That's a joke to me, to be honest.
It is your right as an individual to pick any other country that suits your fancy and move there.
Thank you, Knox.
True, Knox. All right, so, I'm going to look at it back bar. I just do this. So, last week I was reading, said he threw his team under the bus for doing it and was sorry. Okay, well, yeah. So this is the funny thing. So I just read this article right here. Steelers desperately tried to get out of the anthem protest spotlight. So what happened was last week. The Emancipation Proclamation ended slavery. True. So so last week, that was when I was reading this, and the article said that Mike Tomlin, the coach of the Steelers, had directed his team to stay. That they were all staying inside or he released it or something. They're all staying in the locker room in protest of the anthem, right? And this one Steeler player, and that's when it went on that he was a former U.S. Army Ranger and all that stuff, and he had him the picture of the game, like this, with his hand over his heart. And then, now it says that the team decided not to come out with the national anthem before their game Sunday against the Bears. The Steelers intended to move to be viewed as a way to clear of the brewing feud between NFL players and President Trump. Instead, they were seen by some... No. Like it says, the intentions of Steelers players were to stay out of the business of making political statements by not taking the field. Unfortunately, that was interpreted as a boycott of the anthem. No, the article literally said that he said that it went out. Yeah. Some fans were infuriated by the Steelers' perceived defiance and burned jerseys of their favorite players. You have no fucking clue. So, we'll get into this later, but... So, yeah, so anyway, I had one person, hey, I didn't see that follow. Why didn't it alert me to the follow?
You have your stream elements up, or?
I do.
Your alerts, I don't know. You need to go through your alerts later because nothing's been popping up.
JYale10, thank you for the follow 26 minutes ago. It didn't alert me. What the fuck? Also, why do I have 5 people online? I got more people. I just don't want to sound like a dipshit. So anyway, now we're going to move on to this. So I heard about this a couple days ago. First of all, the Oakland Raiders are my favorite team. Depending on if this is true or not. So I heard that because the Oakland Raiders are primarily an African American team, their offensive line is one of the only ones in the NFL that are completely African American. So anyway, I read this story. Not this one particularly. I read a different one. It was sent to me by a buddy, and it said that because he did not join them in their protest, they punished him by letting him getting sacked. The reason why I believed this is because he was not sacked at all last year. and he was only sacked once the year before. I think once before the year. Or maybe he was sacked once last year. And he got sacked 4 times, twice in a row. The second possession, by the Washington Redskins. So, obviously, I did some fact checking, and honestly, it says unproven, so they really don't know. But here is the thing: 2 radio hosts alleged on September 28th of 2017 that members of the Oakland Raiders may purposefully put quarterback Derek Carr in harm's way for not taking part in a protest carried out by several black players. A claim later picked up by several websites. Hosts Jack Armstrong and Joe Getty claimed to have insider information concerning the performance of the Raiders' offensive line, the only one in the National Football League, the only one, comprised of entirely of African-American players, in a 27-10 loss to Washington 4 days earlier. According to Armstrong and Getty, an extremely reliable source, that means it would have to be on the team, divulged to them that the offensive lineman allowed Carr to be sacked in retaliation for his refusal to join them in protesting during the playing of the national anthem before the game. Carr was sacked 4 times during the game, which Armstrong and Getty claim is outside the norm. Getty first claimed that Carr, who is white, was sacked once during the entire 2016 season. So once last year, he was sacked once. And his exact words were, so Derek Carr, who was never sacked last year, was sacked 4 times by the Redskins back-to-back on the second offensive series of the Raiders. The first series, he threw almost immediately an interception, so that series was over before it began. So for the first full series, he was sacked twice on back-to-back plays, also 3 times. The extremely dependable never does this center, the guy who snaps the ball, the quarterback, snapped it before Carr was ready. 3 times he hiked the ball, as the kids would say, into Carr's knees before he was supposed to. In reality, Carr was sacked 16 times during the previous season, one of which resulted in a season-ending broken fibula. In 2015, he was sacked 31 times. Okay, so yeah, he was sacked 16 times. But still, 16 times in 18 games, that's still pretty low. I think you're guessing where this is going. Okay, so maybe these guys were just fucking bullshit. Anyway, so this is the whole diatribe between the two, between the things. There we go. It's on Fact Tracker. It's not proven yet. That's why I went to Snopes. I went to Snoops, to the Fact Tracker. But if this is true, I'm done. I will no longer support the Oakland Raiders. So I'm hoping it's not. But we'll see. But yeah, no. That being said, NFL people, NFL, if you're watching this, Roger Goodell. First, hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Come over to twitch.tv/Jester2504 and come hang out for one of these things. Hell, I'll invite you to my Discord. You can be a guest and tell me your views on this. This is something we'll probably continue covering. Especially, like, I don't know, like, I don't watch baseball. I've never been a baseball fan. Are baseball players doing this as well? Anyone know?
I'm not sure, to tell you the truth.
What about NBA? NBA even started yet? Yeah, it's October. Yeah, should have started.
Again, my whole view on everything that's going on in the NFL is just the fact that it's ridiculous. Yeah. It's ridiculous that they're going to punish people for doing what they should do as an American. Period. They shouldn't be punished for
Nope, because because baseball is an American pastime.
Oh God.
I got you. All right, this is the next thing we're going to start. We're going to start talking about, because hearing about this is what led me to looking into other stuff. Seahawks players celebrate sacking the 49ers quarterback with a Black Power salute. Okay, so here's all I'm going to say about this. So, Michael Bennett celebrated the sack of the 49ers quarterback, who was white, with a Black Power salute. Now, had it been reversed, and had that been, say, J.J. Watt tackling Cam Newton, sacking Cam Newton, and then doing a Hitler-type salute, or a white supremacist salute on the football field, he would be fined, banned, like, kicked off the team, kicked out of the NFL, like immediately suspended for racism, whatever else you want to call it. So
Then
why
he'd have to
isn't
leave
it
the
the
country.
same? Why isn't it the same? That's all I gotta say. Like this should be met the same way as if it was reversed.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. You know, that's another thing that I find it ridiculous. The fact that African American football players, baseball players, whatever have you, everything like that, even Hispanic Americans. You know, I'm not racist, and I'm going to put that out there before I continue my comments and everything like that. I'm not racist in the least. You know, I have plenty of friends and family members that are other races besides white. But I find it ridiculous that even me, being, you know, as big as I am, being white, blonde hair, blue eyes, I'm immediately labeled as a racist because of the fact that I'm white, blonde hair, blue eyed, just like the Germans and everything like that. And I find it ridiculous personally that they're allowed to do it without any kind of repercussions. There should be some form of repercussion for what they're doing, but there's not. Because if the NFL did anything about it, or if any you know major sporting league did anything at all about it, they would never hear the end of it. Oh, you're just racist against, you know, blacks or against Mexicans or against this. But, you know, like you were saying, if a white person did it, it would immediately be, oh, you're a racist. Well, why am I a racist and he's not?
Yes, exactly.
You know,
Only
it's
the only
it's
fault is
ridiculous that it's not a double-edged sword. You know, it's one, literally one-sided, and that's it. You know,
yeah.
white people are racist. That's just the way it is, and nobody else is, so they can do whatever they want.
Yep. I agree completely. I completely agree. I think that people, and okay, I know this almost this whole thing, at least the NFL thing, is made into like this black versus white thing, but it's really not. Like the people that make it the black versus white thing are the media, stuff like that. Like this shit right here, like the black power salute after the tackle. Like I said, if it was reversed, it would be this dude's a racist. He would be kicked off his team and everything else. Like, you know, like unsportsmanlike conduct. At least at the very minimum, that's what that should be. But like you said, like it's okay for African Americans to be racist against white people, but it's not. It's not the other way, which is it's completely. I don't get it. I don't understand it at all. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna give my closing thoughts. Well, Luna's gonna give his closing thoughts first, and then I'm gonna. Nope, we're not. We have one more section. I almost forgot about my favorite section. We're going to go over morons in the news. All right, and it says 12 luckiest, but I just want to talk about one. All right, so this dude, I went to Huffington Post. I couldn't find it, but somewhere on HuffingtonPost.com, there's this story. So it says, don't you hate it when you suffer a heart attack and think you're going to die? So you confess to a 17-year-old murder, only to find out you're not going to die and then get sentenced to life in prison as a result. James Washington. Oh, man, I didn't even see his name before. James Washington. Let's look that up. Nashville murder. All right, a Nashville inmate. Here we go. Hell yeah, I found it. I was on ABC News, but that's okay. Have you seen the list? What did the BML founder release?
I just pulled it up.
A Nashville inmate has been convicted of murder after he confessed to the brutal 1995 crime while recovering from a seizure attack in prison, telling a guard that he had something to get off his chest. James Washington, 50, was convicted last week of murder of Joyce Goodenier, a 35-year-old Nashville woman who was found dead by firefighters inside an abandoned home 17 years ago. According to authorities, was stabbed, beaten with a cinder block, rolled into a rug, and set on fire. Washington, who was already in prison serving a 15-year sentence for a 2006 attempted second-degree murder conviction, suffered an attack of seizures in 2009. While laid up in the hospital, he confessed his involvement in the murder to one of the few people near him, prison guard James Tomlinson. Well, I'm pretty sure that that guard was just racist and made it up. Prison officials brought the confession to prosecutors who... Wow. Damn. So he had a seizure, thinking that he was going to die. He confessed to a crime and got... Damn. That's just crazy.
I whispered you the list that Knox is talking about, but you might want to look at that later.
Yeah, I'm not going to pull it up on stream.
Because that is... Oh my god, dude.
All right, so, anyway, wow. Yeah, so I guess the moral of the story there is, if you commit a horrible crime...
Take it to your grave.
Don't commit a horrible crime. But if you do, and you don't get caught, don't admit to it. So, wow, yeah, that's...
You know what would have even been funnier?
What's that?
If they would have put him to the death penalty.
Oh, yeah.
That it would have just been ironic. He's dying of cancer, confesses to a murder, lives. They try him and put him on death row. It's like that's sheer irony right there.
That's kind of funny, actually. All right, let me go ahead and give your final thoughts on the stuff
On everything, or?
Yeah, just in general, whatever.
All right. Well, on as far as the gentleman that decided to do a 17-year murder, he's an idiot, in my opinion.
That's why it's called moron in the...
Yeah, exactly. You're an idiot. If you did something like that, again, like you said, don't do something like that. But if you did and you're not caught, die with it. Don't confess to it thinking, oh, well, my soul's going to be saved if I confess to it. No, because karma's a bitch and is going to get you. As far as the shooter in Vegas, again, I believe there is something deeper there. I mean, will we ever know about it? I highly doubt it. I mean, if you look at conspiracy theories in the past, technically by law, every file around the JFK murder is supposed to be public knowledge now, which it is not. We are supposed to have access to every single one of those files about anything surrounding JFK's murder, which we don't have access to. So again, that goes into a whole different topic about conspiracy theories and this, that, the other. As far as NFL players, I believe that something needs to be done. And it's not anything against, African Americans, not anything against anybody. It's the fact that you're being a disgraceful little fuck. And somebody needs to be taught a lesson. So that way people could learn from this. I mean, being a white American, if us as football players or military members or anything along those lines decided to do something like that, we would be punished for it. But because they're African American, because they're, whatever, that it's completely okay for them to do whatever they want. It doesn't matter. They can do whatever they want and with no harm, no foul, and I'm sorry, as a government and as, as everything, I feel something needs to be done about that, in my opinion. Go ahead, Jester.
For me, I'm looking forward to looking into the Las Vegas shooting more and learning more about it and stuff. We'll probably talk about the shooter and stuff like that, along with other reactions next week. Speaking of which, you guys, if you want to be in one of the future episodes, by all means, please DM me on Discord. If you were not on Discord, definitely go ahead and download Discord or something like that. You can also, if you go subscribe to my YouTube channel, there's not a video on there right now, but this will be the first video. I'm glad
I can be your first.
After I edit and stuff like that. But, yep, let's go ahead and let me run the, where is it? where tweet creators music mobile sub right here. How do I run it now? Click on that link that just went in chat. It will give you a link, or it will bring you into Jester's Army Discord server. You can join Jester's Army Discord. We'll have general conversation in there as well. Starting next week, there will be an open forum discussion on the topics we cover next week in the Discord, as well as an after show discussion via Discord voice for my Twitch subs. So thank you guys all for coming over and hanging out. If you are following me and you want some more Jester's Army, I'm going to take a quick break. I'm actually going to log off, and then in about 10 to 15 minutes I'll be back on, probably playing some video games or something like that. Possibly 10 to 15 minutes. Let's see what the family's doing. Definitely hit me up if you subscribe to my YouTube channel. As you can see right there where it says Drow of Luna at the top, that is my, you all should get an alert that pops up and all that fun stuff. And by all means, if you guys would like to be a guest on the show, hit me up. You can always also send me business emails. My business email is going to be in chat here in a second. Actually, my business email is on my Twitter. Just follow me on Twitter. I think it's tweet. So, all right, guys. Thank you all. Luna, thank you very much.
Let's put a smile on that face.
Catatonia, thank you for that awesome YouTube sub. I don't know why it didn't update. It is weird. I don't know why it didn't pop up. Oh, it didn't pop up because this is on top of it.
Nux did
so
too.
So we're going to run that again.
Let's
I just figured this out.
There
we go. I just figured it out today. We'll figure it out. I will get better at it. But thank you all for stopping by. I salute each and every one of you for hanging out, joining in the discussion. Luna, I super appreciate you.
Anytime, brother.
Hanging out. Anyone not following Drow of Luna, go follow him. He's awesome. He has some great graphics on his channel. His graphic design artist is an amazing dude. But anyway, I love you all. You guys are all fucking awesome. And remember, always be better today than you were yesterday. I will talk to you guys later.